Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. I'm away from home for a while, which among other things means I can't record a review of The Boys season finale because I leave before it releases. But worry not, my friends, because I've come up with the perfect solution to this predicament. Instead of a review, I'm recording my predictions in advance, so when the finale finally releases, we can go back and see if anything I said would happen actually happened. Conveniently, this means that this video will have no spoilers for the finale, but it will have spoilers for the rest of the season, so if you care about that, go watch the show and then come back when you're done. And if you don't have Amazon Prime to watch The Boys, well, tough shit, I guess. Before we begin, if you don't already hate the sound of my voice, you might as well subscribe. Who knows, maybe someday my channel will be the last bastion against an evil media empire like Vought from The Boys. Not real life, that would be crazy. What? Also, if you enjoy this video, there will be a link at the end to the last time I reviewed a show with super violent superheroes. Alright, let's get into this shit. Alright, so there's a couple of things I could see them doing with Sister Sage in the finale. Firstly, she might get her brains blasted out again and end up as the comic relief during the third act, which, honestly, I wouldn't hate. Dumb Sage kinda reminds me of every wholesome drunk person at every party I've ever been to. It's kind of adorable. Alternatively, she might make a last-minute team-up with the boys, seeing as Homelander fired her. I kinda get the sense that she would clash with all the boys, though, so it would probably fall apart by the end of the episode. Finally, and this is what I've been thinking since the very beginning, Homelander might just tear her in half. Homelander's pretty clearly been itching to kill Sage the entire season, and it seems like he's finally fed up with her bullshit. This one could also go alongside the boys team up, with Homelander finally killing her because she joined the boys. By the way, if my predictions being wrong really pisses you off for some reason, make sure to go on down to the comments, leave me a nasty note, and then go fuck yourself. Staying on the topic of side character soups, I think Firecracker dies. Every love interest for Homelander so far has either died or been mortally wounded at the end of the season, so I imagine they're gonna do the same for her. My guess is that Starlight kills her during some big confronting her past moment where Starlight acknowledges that she used to be a bitch, but now she's changed. I'm putting these two together because they kind of seem to be in a similar boat. I'm just kidding, I'm not that organized. I did it because I felt like it. I don't know, sue me. So with A-Train being outed as the leak, I think he's either gonna do a full-on team-up with the boys, or Homelander's just gonna kill him. Simple. As for Ashley, it seems like they're setting her up for some big act of rebellion, so I think she's finally gonna curse out Homelander and probably get herself killed. At this point, she's only around because Homelander can control her, so if she says that ain't gonna fly anymore, he has no reason to keep her alive anyhow. Wow, I'm predicting a lot of major character deaths, huh? I kinda hope I'm wrong. These two are pretty entertaining. This one's very simple. I think Ryan's gonna go on back to Butcher. I'll elaborate on that in a second, but Ryan is clearly having a change of heart, and I think he's gonna leave Vought and become a good guy for good. Alright then, that's the Vought side of things. Let's have a look at the titular boys. Ah, shit, wrong show. They kind of sidelined Butcher this season, which really disappointed me, actually. Don't get me wrong, Butcher's an asshole, but he's a fun character to see in action, and they just haven't given him a ton of action this season, considering the whole brain tumor thing. At the end of episode 7, it looked like he was still alive, so I have a few guesses as to where he's gonna go from here. One prediction is that he's gonna end up in the hospital, and at the end of the episode, Huey has to decide whether or not to pull the plug. You know, it's character growth since his dad, Simon Pegg, was in the hospital. On the other hand, I think Butcher might come back as Kessler for the final episode and be a problem for the rest of the boys to deal with. If that all happens, he's probably gonna go try and kill Ryan, and Butcher's gonna have to fight Kessler for control of his body, and it's gonna be a big climactic moment, or he just dies on the floor of the bar. It really could go any direction. I actually feel really bad for Frenchie. I've always liked him. First of all, I don't think he's getting back with Colin. I don't really understand all the hate for Colin. I think they were a pretty cute couple, you know, murder aside, but I just don't think it's realistic for Colin to forgive Frenchie after all this. My guess is that Colin was mainly in this season to add to Frenchie's guilt, which is why people felt like he was missing character development and whatnot. I think that Frenchie's gonna treat this whole saving the president thing as a bit of a redemption for himself, and he's gonna be doing a little bit better by the end of the finale. Maybe he'll even get the chance to save Colin's life again. That would be pretty cool. I do feel like that would be a good character moment for him, you know, a way to undo just a little bit of the damage he's done. So Huey and Starlight have the whole shapeshifter issue going on, which all kinds of gross, ew. But more importantly for the plot, the boys no longer have any evidence of the planned coup, and Starlight is now being held captive. My guess is that Huey is going to be sidelined again to go save Starlight, which I'm not super happy with, but whatever. And as for the evidence being stolen on Huey's laptop, it's not like they really need the evidence to stop the coup. What I think is going to happen is that they'll stop the coup successfully, but since they have no evidence that it was going to happen in the first place, the whole thing's going to get turned around on them, and they're going to end up being fugitives again. And all that because Huey was too horny to notice the imposter. It's his fault, kill him. I'm kidding. We love Huey on this channel. Jack Quaid, call me. These two are also getting grouped together because it's my video and I can do what I want. So I imagine Newman's gonna come to her senses and realize how fucked up this whole situation is, and she's probably gonna back out of the whole coup thing. She might publicly out herself as a soup too, I don't know. That being said, I don't think it's really gonna do anything. My guess is she's gonna back out and the coup's just gonna carry on without her, or Homelander's gonna threaten her daughter to make her comply. As for the soup virus, I don't think they're actually gonna use it on Newman. I think that Kessler Butcher is gonna try to use the virus on Ryan, and while Butcher is fighting for control of his body, the virus is gonna get smashed on the ground or something. I do have to say, I think they implemented the virus in a pretty good way this season. I know that everyone was a little worried it would ruin the show when it showed up in Gen V, but they didn't give it to the boys right away, and once they had it, there was a whole moral dilemma of whether or not to kill all soups. I think it made it a lot more compelling than it could have been. You know, I think it could have just ended up being a lot lazier and a lot worse, and I think they did a pretty good job avoiding all that. Anyway, folks, I think that's gonna do it for today's video. The link I mentioned should be on screen now, so go check that out, and as always, thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, and always remember to stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay humble, because when it comes down to it, we are all just airheads. Have a good night, everyone. Also, I probably should have mentioned this before, but The Boys is, like, really violent. If you're gonna go watch it, be aware of that.